Good evening once again, brothers and sisters, and any other union activists out there, concerned citizens. I just want to say hello to everybody. We're nearing the December 7th election. Remember, all union members, dues must be paid through December in order to be eligible to vote. We will be taking some dues at the union hall. It's going to be very hectic, so I would advise you to try to get them paid ahead of time and advise every member who cares about this union, get out there and vote. You know, the reason for all the candidates that are running for office, because they care about this union, and you ought to be out there to support them. I want to give a shout out to all the candidates. I've seen a lot of nice. I got a nice email from a team. I saw a Facebook post, even though I don't Facebook. It was all positive. I seen some literature that was handed out to the members on jobs and at the training center. It's all very positive, and everybody seems to be concerned, and everybody's advocating for change, right? So we all know that it's been hard to make changes the way we were being ran as a union, and it was hard to do anything. You know, when Dale Douglas retired, I literally begged not to replace him with another business agent. I begged to replace him with an organizer we so desperately needed. A couple years ago, we lost an organizer. Probably 2.5 years ago, our organizer had moved on and took a promotion, went to work for the International Union. That being said, right away, first thing I said was, let's get an organizer. Let's start with an organizer. The organizer himself wanted to, appoint somebody. That wasn't happening. So we have jobs like St. Joe's University. We have 120 Masons on the job as of today. I talked to Laporte's main superintendent. We knew that job was coming when our last organizer resigned. You know, we did about it. We put out a radio commercial, okay? It's not what this is about. It was a self-promoting commercial. First thing I did to implement change was I had the contracts terminated. Unfortunately, we're obligated to finish out the Eagle season. There's no more Phillies contracts. There's no more Eagles contracts. We were told that they were, only good for this year, and we found out that they actually were, this past April, renegotiated for 4 more years with a 5% increase. The first thing I did was terminate the commercial or the ads, the contracts. And then what I did was I changed the commercial, because we were obligated for this season, to a very positive message to go out there and recruit. Was the most needed item right now was stonemasons, really predominantly, and bricklayers. That being said, again, everybody's talking about change, but it's not easy to make a change in my position. Everybody points the finger at the number two. Let them get away with it. Well, let me remind everybody, you have different entities up there. You have the Health and Welfare Office. It's a separate entity from the union, although affiliated under the union's umbrella. You have the JATF, the Joint Apprenticeship and Training Fund, separate entity under the union's umbrella. I did not have anything to do with the banking or the checking or signed checks at the JATF, none whatsoever. There was a singular signature system set up, which you don't do that in this world, especially after what we just went through. We know not to do that. The first thing I did was implement a dual signature. I actually had to become a signer on the checkbook, because I'm now the business manager and president. I want to change that to the coordinator. Maria Morris, our administrator, is now signing on all the checks for the JATF again. The number 2, Secretary Treasurer, did not sign any checks on the Joint Apprenticeship Training Fund. Again, change has been the big thing we're hearing about in the campaigns. Well, when you're Secretary Treasurer and you're an at-will employee, which means you could be fired for cause, the same way it reads in our union contract with our contractors, that every member is an at-will employee, can be fired for cause. So try to make a change when you're an at-will employee. It doesn't happen, because guess who's going to back you up when you get fired? Nobody. Do you think the guys in the office are going to back me up when they're facing to be fired themselves? Highly unlikely. So moving forward, the International Union has contacted our council, our attorneys, and they want to see the Secretary Treasurer go into bylaws, which the members will have to amend and approve and vote on, that it be a full-time paid position, and that then at that point there, the business manager can't fire the Secretary Treasurer. Now you have solid internal controls. A guy is able to defend himself, his union, and the other management committee members as a full-time paid position. As it stands now, every single vice chairman and the Secretary Treasurer are at-will employees, not full-time paid positions. The only full-time paid position is the business manager and president. So try to make a change when you're 54, not when you're 64. Because when you're collecting all of your pensions and your full retirement age, it's very easy to drop a bomb. Try to be the guy that has to clean up the mess. Like I'll give you the analogy, like this is like the Exxon Valdez. We just freaking crashed on the bottom of the ocean. And you got millions of gallons of oil spilling all over the ocean. Try to get in my shoes, walk them for one day. Try to clean up that mess. September 17th, I took over as business manager. February 1st, I'll end my term as business manager. From now until then, I have been leading this charge and cleaning up our union's issues, advancing us forward, and gladfully willing to take a back seat as vice chairman. I'm not here because I have an ego. And listen, just like I said, walk a mile in my shoes and clean up the mess. Make the change at 54, not 64. 3 years ago, the same thing could have happened and it didn't. Okay, so remember, guys, it's very important to be involved in our union. We have an important election coming up Saturday, December 7th. Vote Battaglia for vice chairman for the simple fact is this. Today, I was in a meeting over a $1.3 billion project at the Sixers Stadium, okay? We're about 1 week away from getting a deal done. We're working with the local legislators, city council members, the mayor, to try to create potentially 100 to 200 plus jobs for our members on a project such as that. In the same breath, the Goldenberg Group, which is one of the largest developers in Philadelphia and landowners, purchased the property adjacent to the stadium proposed location at 8th and Market. It's going to be a Marriott no matter what. Right now, as it stands, if the stadium doesn't go through, it's going to be a 300-room Marriott. If the stadium goes through, it's going to be a 600-room Marriott. We're working on a $2.5 billion deal with city council members, our president of the Philadelphia Building Trades, Ryan Boer, our executive council right now as we speak, on a $2.5 billion deal in the stadium district with Comcast Spectacor. Okay, these are jobs where we have to be in tune with the legislators. They have to know where we stand and what we expect of them in order to get our support and our political contributions. We're working on a House bill right now that's going to protect the tile industry. It's going to protect the brick industry. This House bill is going to stipulate that all project labor agreements and prevailing wage projects that put union workers to work, if it's a brick panel, which is really hurting the brick industry, it's going to be installed by one of our members off-site in a plant under our prevailing wages and be erected on-site by union workers at union scale. Right now, modular construction is a big thing in the entire world, especially on the West Coast. It's taken over conventional construction. All the units are being tiled off-site by non-union workers in a plant and being shipped to the project and basically assembled like Lego blocks. We know the legislators are supporting these bills and they know how we feel about it. And this is why it's important to have your business agent that manages your day-to-day business, that has his finger on the pulse, knows to know the legislators where we stand and what we expect of them, to get involved in this stuff at the daily meetings, the weekly meetings, the bi-weekly meetings we have. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the guys who are running your chapters are the guys who are completely dialed in on everything that involves putting our members to work. That's why it's important. I'm not running because I have an axe to grind, a personal vendetta against somebody. I'm running because this is my livelihood. This is my life. This is my passion. I've dedicated to this union. I've been an officer for 24 years. So please like, subscribe, and share, and vote Battaglia for vice chairman, experienced labor leader.